Hey everybody, how you doing? I know the lighting's not great on this video, and I'm going to try to adjust this a little bit. I do not have a professional set, unfortunately, but I always like to share my opinion about music and new releases and that kind of thing. Thank you for your wonderful like on my ABBA comments. Let me tell you ahead of time, I'm very new to YouTube Studio. I still have not figured out how to turn on comments. All I know through analytics is how many dislikes and how many likes that I have, but I'd love to have your opinions. If anybody can give me a simple instruction on how to allow people to leave comments on my videos, I would appreciate your help because I guess I don't understand instructions. Anyway, what it's all about is me being a very happy camper this weekend. October the 15th, 16th, okay? I received my Let It Be 2021 Remix CD. I decided to buy the simple 2 CD set over the box sets because I don't think there's as much to enjoy in terms of extras from Let It Be, which doesn't make it a bad album. I'll get back to that in a moment. I made a significant investment. I bought the big box sets for Sgt. Pepper, which is beautiful, the White Album, Abbey Road, and Let It Be also offers a 5 or 6 disc box. Walmart and Target have their individual packages. One has pictures, one has a tote bag. I mean, there's so many configurations of this album, but for Let It Be, I decided to keep it simple. It's 2 CD, the entire album as it was originally released, remixed, and a second disc that is full of bonus outtakes of the tracks of the original album. Still very worth about $20. I got mine on Amazon. I love Amazon because I can find anything there. By the way, this is not a sponsored ad for Amazon or the Beatles. I'm just a Beatles lover, and we waited so long for this to be cleaned up, and the results are mostly very satisfying. Let me show you the disc first. It's a box, nice solid box. It's glossy. They paid close attention to the artwork and everything, and here's the cover, the actual cover of the album. It is we'll call it a mini gatefold for the purposes of this video. Contents on the back. All right, this side is the album, and this side is the outtakes, and the 2 discs are contained therein. For those of you who like specifics, here's the album. It looks like the original Apple label, and the outtakes, slightly different. It's the other side of the Apple, right? Like side B of all of their Apple albums. All right, the booklet. Beautiful. I mean, you can get a bigger book. There is a book being released with the album and the new film by Peter Jackson, but this has a lot of information for a small book, very compact, from pictures that maybe you've never seen before. Notes by Giles Martin, also got notes from Paul McCartney. Really a historical set. Now, before I tell you what I think about each track in the overall album, I will tell you that for years, my fellow music lovers, my friends have told me that I'm crazy for loving this album so much. As far as top 5 Beatle albums, this one usually winds up on the bottom. I don't understand why. As far as anything post, 63, 64, this usually winds up at the bottom. That it's disjointed, it doesn't have this, doesn't have that. Personally, I like it because it's very rough and raw. I think they succeeded in catching the Beatles at a very specific moment in time without all the gloss. George Martin, for the most part, was not involved in this. The original Let It Be project was shelved for a while, and Phil Spector came in and added his magic touch, if you want to call it that, to these albums. And so anyway, I like the tracks. I like the order of the tracks. I like the bits between the tracks, like Dig It and Maggie May, because if you listen to it from top to bottom, it's like a story. And if you saw the film that was released in 1970, which got cleaned up and they found footage, you know the story about that. It's the order in which you heard it. So it's like storytelling if you listen to it track by track. The great songs on this are not limited to the ones you know, namely Let It Be and The Long and Winding Road. I think there's so many great songs on here for different reasons. Now, the 2021 remix is exactly what it is. A remix is basically they run the original tapes through a board and they bring certain things up, they bring certain things down, as opposed to a remaster where they work with the EQ a little bit more. They add more bass, more mid-range, more treble, whatever they think the track needs. And this particular album has been released at least 5 different times in my lifetime that I remember. Maybe it's 4. Started with the original 80s release of the album, which sounded kind of muddy like the original vinyl album that I bought back in 1970. Then the remaster series from the 90s, which was EQ, not a remix, remastered, not remixed, okay? And then came a CD called Let It Be Naked. I should have had here for illustration, where they basically stripped away all of the orchestrations and choruses that were inserted by Phil Spector. Paul McCartney in particular didn't care for it. I think 2 out of the 4 Beatles approved of Phil Spector redoing the album in the first place. But Let It Be Naked is gorgeous because it strips these songs down to their bare essence, and it's almost like a MTV Unplugged thing, okay? A few of the non-essentials are removed, like Dig It and Maggie May, little bits and pieces and talking. It's more of a straight-ahead album. So let's get back to the remix and what I think about it. Let me go track by track. I'm going to pay attention to the major tracks, not the little stuff in between. Two of Us, the opener. For me, the story of Paul and John, terrific song. And too bad Paul McCartney, to my knowledge, never performed it live, even in his most recent concerts before COVID. The clarity is amazing. The voices are up front, and you can hear Ringo's very light drums even louder, brings it up in the mix. Same for Across the Universe, a John Lennon classic. You put this one on, it transports you to another place. It's mystic, it's abstract, and it just puts you in a certain mode. If you love this song, you're going to love what the remix did for it. Absolutely brilliant. The next one here, man, I should have my glasses. George Harrison's I Me Mine. This is a brilliant remix. I hear things that I've not heard before. And for me, that is the mark of a great remix. The clarity, the transparency, and details that you never noticed before. Throughout this album, I want to add this, throughout this album, remember, Billy Preston plays the keyboards. George Harrison had invited Billy Preston over and put the Beatles on their best possible behavior, given the circumstances they were filming under. So Billy Preston's keyboard work is essential. It is the meatballs to the spaghetti here, all right? So props to the late, great Billy Preston, protege of Ray Charles, one of my favorite artists of all time. All right, let's get to the nugget. Let It Be, as the album says. The remix does remarkable things for Let It Be. Paul's voice is front and center. It sounds clear. You could hear almost a greater range in his voice from top to bottom. You know, if I had to illustrate what the sound is like, it's like layered, multi-dimensional. It's clear. It's spread out. It's not over-compressed like 90% of today's CDs, which I think is such a big mistake. They've ruined so many great recordings and older recordings by making everything sound like it needs to come through a rap boombox of some kind. Not dissing on rap, but everything is programmed to have too much bass in it, which ruins any subtlety at mid and high level frequencies. But Let It Be just shines on this album. Not a bad track, but it works differently for different tracks, the remix process. I've Got a Feeling has a little less bass than before. I don't like that because I've Got a Feeling is a Paul rocker. He has performed this one live before COVID, but doesn't have the range to achieve what he did back in 1970. I'm not blaming Paul, but I wish he'd done it earlier when he made his return to the concert stage, because it's a kick-ass song. My only gripe is it's clean, it's present, it's even, except there's not enough bass in this, and that was very essential to this track. But it wouldn't keep me from buying this album, okay? One After 909, a ramshackle rocker, one of my favorites from the Beatles. Makes everybody know, man. It's great. It sounds like a song you'd hear in a blues club or your neighborhood club with your neighborhood band. Originally recorded by the Beatles in the early 60s, I believe it appeared on the anthology series somewhere. That's a great little song. It's a foot tapper. It's a beer drinking song. It's a road song. And the remix does wonders for it. It just punches you right in the face, comes back with a right and a left hook. And yeah, you're there. You're there. The Long and Winding Road. This is probably my least favorite result from the remix. I think that as far as the orchestration goes, they should have brought it down a little bit more. They should have brought the choir down a little bit more. It almost overwhelms Paul McCartney's vocals. Overall, the recording quality is more than satisfactory, but in terms of what you can hear, what should be front and center, I think they could have turned down the orchestra a little bit more. I am not a record producer. I'm a listener just like you. And my footnote here is, depending on your sound system, if you've got a low-end sound system, it's going to be a different result from what you're hearing in your car if you've got a CD player there, or if you have a high-end sound system. So everybody will hear something different off the same source. We have to keep that in mind at all times when we're reviewing. I don't criticize, I just review CDs that I think are of great interest. For You Blue is, to me, a George Harrison gem. I loved it when they brought it back for the Tribute to George concert with Jeff Lynne, Tom Petty, all these great musicians. And I think Paul McCartney sang the lead on it. Great song. And of course, the last track, the version on the rooftop, where at the end they say, "Thank you, folks, and I hope we passed the audition." Absolutely brilliant. The remix, you could hear that it's a live recording, but the remix brings it front and center. It's present. It's even clearer than I remember. And so my conclusion with this 2021 remix is get it. If you're a casual Beatles fan, this will hit your sweet spot. If you want to have it all, you know, it also depends on how much money you got in the bank to spend on a CD set. Go and buy the I think it's a 5 CD super deluxe set, has more outtakes, more stuff, has more detail if you want to go into depth, and it's probably got more goodies attached to it. I know that Walmart and Target have different configurations. One offers 8 by 10 pictures of the Beatles. The other one has tote bags. Another one might have a free bar of deodorant. I don't know. I just know that I'm not spending big on this only because I am very satisfied with the basic set, which I bought for about $20 off of Amazon. So those are my views, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it brought some light to your day. We're still dealing with COVID and all kinds of stuff out there, and we'll all make our way through it. There's always a rainbow around the corner, man. And thank you for spending some time with me. I love spending time with whoever may be interested in what I have to say. My qualification for doing these videos is I've spent a bunch of money on discs. I've been listening to music, and the thing that I think qualifies, I listen to a lot of different music, not just one or two genres. So I like most of what I listen to, everything from the Beatles to rock and roll to disco. Oh my God, he said disco. What's wrong with him? Nothing wrong with it, folks. They still make dance music that goes boom, 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 but they change the label. You change the label, it doesn't change what it is. You know what I'm talking about? And never, ever go by labels. Keep an open mind, give everything a listen. No one's going to love everything that they hear. And that's quite normal, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, have yourselves a wonderful day. We're headed toward the holidays at the time this video was recorded. And I hope that everything is love and light in your life. And I am pleased and very honored that you spent some time with me. Thank you so much. I'll be back with another video when I find something that I think might be of interest to you. Maybe not, but I'll take that risk because you're worth it, okay? Love you guys. Spread the love. Don't be a jerk.